Welcome, everyone. Good boy, Tucker. This is learning at its most fun.
So thank you all so much for joining us today. Just before we absolutely dive in, we do just have a couple of housekeeping things before I hand it over to Rich. Thank you again for joining us. This is a Building Your Tech Stack with the Redtail CRM. For those of you who don't know me or are joining us for the first time, my name is Jack, and I'm one of the product knowledge experts and trainers here at Redtail. Today, I have Rich from Quik with us. He is the CEO and co-founder of Quik, and we've had Rich on here before. If you tuned in last year for his amazing webinar he gave, he is so insightful about this industry and especially about a tool that I personally talk about quite a bit in my trainings, which is form filling software and form filler software. So I'm very excited to have Rich on to tell us how we can take advantage and save ourselves some time and so maybe spend that extra time with our 3 children if we have them, or like me, my 3 dogs. Now, if you are joining us maybe for the first time after a while, or if you're joining us for the first time ever, you may have noticed our platform has changed a little bit. We are no longer presenting on Zoom. We have moved to a new platform, and with that comes a few new tools that you can utilize. Now, on our next slide here, yes, you do have the ability to customize some of your windows. You can go ahead, expand, make things bigger, make things smaller. We do have a Q&A box, so you can go ahead and feel free to plug in those questions as we go. If I see a good one, I'll make sure to pull it out and ask Rich right away so we don't lose our momentum. But we love to hear your feedback. We want you to get involved today, so please ask those questions. There are some links surrounding you, some various links to Quik addresses, as well as to some Redtail help desk articles, so please feel free to explore those. And finally, this is a recorded session, so we can all wave hello to ourselves in the future, and you will have access to this within a few hours of the webinar itself, as well as on the Redtail help desk as early as next week. So, with all of our housekeeping items taken care of, I am going to hand it over to the man of the hour. This is Rich, and he is going to go ahead and save us all some time today and help me eradicate carpal tunnel syndrome, which for those of you who don't know is my life's goal now. So Rich, thank you so much for being here again. We are incredibly excited to have you. Welcome. Before you dive in, would you mind just telling us a little bit about yourself for people who maybe haven't seen your beautiful face before?
Jack, you're so kind. Thank you so much. I really hope that we can make this a fun session today for everybody who's spent their time, joined us, and is willing to spend the time with us. My background, so I was a technologist in the 90s, and I got tired of technology and decided to go to my roots, which was finance. I got my degree in finance, and I said, I'm going to become a financial advisor. In fact, I wanted to follow the footsteps of somebody like Susie Orman, go on shows, have seminars, whatever. And I started building up my clientele with my mentor. And immediately I saw a lot of inefficiency in the year 2000, early 2001. So I built a bunch of systems. I built my own Monte Carlo simulator, charting system with Yahoo, getting stock reports, all sorts of different charts, but also filling out forms, which I'll tell that story. So I've been an entrepreneur since age 12. I've started over 10 different companies throughout my lifetime. I'm very passionate about delivering value and helping people solve problems. And forms, I mean, look, I don't know a single person who said, when I grow up, I'm going to fill out forms. Yet here I am. So I want to save everybody from that problem and help everybody with forms. Our company, we did our first install in February 11, 2002. So we're a 21-year-old company at this point, and we love what we do. So Jack, feel free to interrupt me, ask me questions. I'm going to start by giving you guys the background on Quik. Why does it matter? Why do we talk about this? And then I'm going to dive into the product. So I don't like death by PowerPoint. I'm just going to give you a few slides to talk through, and let's ask questions as we go. So most people talk to us because it's forms, right? How do we automate forms? Why does that matter though? Honestly, if you look at how to drive the growth in your company, the number one way you can do that is by creating an excellent customer experience. Think about the companies you love Here in Austin, Texas, one of my favorite companies is Alamo Drafthouse Movie Theater. They have one of the best customer experiences, and I will put all my money to going to that theater over and over and over again. They drive growth because of great experience. Gartner Group, Microsoft, they've all studied this as well. We did it as well. Our own customers are the ones that are growing in the industry. I'm not trying to take credit for that. I'm just saying there's a high correlation with how we help people improve their customer experience, and therefore they're attracted to us. So going back to our story, who are we? Well, we're the forms company. Our goal is to streamline your customer experience with forms. We really want to be the most compelling form solution out there. And we drive really hard to innovate and come up with new features and capabilities to make that possible. A fun fact about our company is that we generate so many forms electronically that we save a tree worth of paper every hour of every day. And better than that, we actually plant those trees. So it's one thing to calculate it, but we actually partnered with Arbor Day and we go plant that many trees every year. So we can turn around to our customers and say, hey, guess what? You saved 100 trees, 1,000 trees, whatever it might be for that company.
So if I'm a new customer, Rich, and you're telling me that if I sign on with you, I can save trees by just doing my job?
Yeah, that'll happen organically. That's the right word, I guess, because we plan it. But yes, it'll happen because we're tracking all the forms that are generated, counting it up. I would say an individual user might take a while to save a tree, but collectively a firm is saving trees faster and faster. I don't expect anybody to buy our product because we save trees, but I do think it's a nice outgrowth of what we're doing. I mean, why shouldn't we?
100%.
So in terms of who we are and what we do, we're very, very focused on doing two things exceptionally well so that we can be the forms company. Number one is managing forms. As you may know, there's a lot of forms in this industry. In fact, when I started, I went to my broker dealer and I said, hey, are you going to automate these forms? And they said, yeah, we've got 3 forms automated: the new account form, the order ticket, or the asset transfer, and the order ticket. I'm like, great. What about the other 207 forms in the library? They're like, no, that's too hard. What about American funds? What about Pershing? No, they couldn't do it. And so I realized we needed to do that. We need to play in the middle, bring all the forms in across the industry. We have contractual relationships with hundreds of companies to get their forms, and make them all work the same way. They all have to be fillable, interactive, secure, signable, etc. So part one is we get the forms, and that can be your own private custom forms too. Second is deliver the forms. Now for this demo, I'm going to talk about our turnkey product. But I also like to tell everybody it's built on APIs. An API is a simple way to think about it as a component, like an engine of a car. It's a piece that allows you to build something bigger. And everything about our system is a component that can be put together. Why do I tell you this? Because some of our customers, including Redtail customers, are using Quik to pull data out of the form in the back end, using our APIs to extend the capability that we provide in a turnkey product. Everything we're doing is to try to help our customers solve the type of problems they have in their unique business challenges. So why do people come talk to us? And I think this is universal. Everybody wants to save time in their process. I mean, look, our very first install was a top 75 producer for American funds. She had a staff of 5 people, one whose full-time job was handwriting forms. She called us up 2 weeks after getting our very first product, I mean, literally version 1.0, and said, oh my gosh, you're changing my life. I just went from 40 hours a week of filling out forms to 4. She said, honestly, it would be only 2, but I didn't have good enough data in my CRM. So that caused them to even make their CRM work better, because they now organize the data and put more data into it because they had a purpose for the data. So we can help our customers save time in their process. Obviously, this is going to streamline the process. Nobody likes looking at handwritten forms, especially the back office folk. We're going to eliminate errors, and there are ways to do that and make it even better. But obviously, just being able to have visibility to information and seeing it clearly typed in the form, that's a key. And the fourth one is really my favorite. I want to make people happier. And it's to say that nobody likes filling out forms. So if we can make that the easiest part of your transaction, I think we're having a positive impact on the world. So Jack, how's that carpal tunnel coming? Can we fix it yet?
I think we're going to eradicate quite a bit of it. I mean, I'm already hearing, I love the form filling aspect, but I also know you can create forms, correct? Can you duplicate those forms too? So if I was a new person, could my forms potentially, could I come to you and say, these are my custom forms? I need to duplicate them as well?
Yeah, we do custom forms all the time for individual users, offices, firms. It doesn't matter to us. There's a small charge, $20 per page to do it. But once it's in our library, it works the same as every other form that you're using. And actually, I'm going to show you in my demo the custom forms that we use for demo purposes. That way I don't have copyright issues. But you'll see it. So, this is a good way to talk about why we're different. Number one is service. So the service of building your forms is a good example of how we're service oriented. Yeah, we're a software company. We build great tech. It's innovative, et cetera. But what we care about most is the service aspect of what we do. The way I see it is if you need help and you can't get help with a software product that you bought, that software becomes worthless. Yes. You need to be able to get a fast response. My team responds in less than an hour. We have live chat. We even get our customers on Slack if they support it and have real-time conversations. We're willing to go the extra mile to make sure our customers are happy and getting the service they need. The second one, this middle box, is our field mapping. Now, I'm going to tell you the truth. We have over 130 Redtail fields, and that's amazing because all that data you're putting into Redtail is going to flow onto Quik. But the real truth is we support over 750,000 unique fields across the library of forms. What that means then is not only can we take your 130 fields from Redtail, but we can put them into any type of person role. So the account owner, the beneficiary, the custodian, the guarantor, whoever it may be, we can fill out lots and lots of fields on a form and give you very high pre-fill. And that saves you a ton of time. It's not just your contact, it's anybody in Redtail that you want to put anywhere on the form. And of course, our library. We have a huge library.
Yeah. How many documents are in that library again? Did I read somewhere? How many documents are in that library?
It's over 38,000 and growing. It's always growing. We take requests from our customers. They ask for companies and we try our best to go get them. And then they add up over time.
So do you take requests, Rich, for documents?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, that's how we drive the growth of our library. People have asked us, hey, do you have X and Y company? And so we say, how do we get in front of them and show them the value of getting the forms into Quik? And quite honestly, if it's a carrier, like a life insurance, a mutual fund, if it's publicly available to all of our customers, we don't even charge the carrier to add the forms to our library. So it removes the roadblocks for them to put the forms into our system. All right, like I said, no death by PowerPoint. This is the last slide because I'm going to jump over and show you actual use of our product. What we're going to walk through then is our Quik Forms app. You can, I'll show you how to get over to Quik from Redtail. Simply choose the forms you want, add the people you want, launch the forms, fill them out, sign them. Very, very straightforward product. So let's share screens. Jack, do me a favor and confirm that you can see the Redtail screen.
Yes, I can.
Awesome.
Perfect.
All right. I'm not good at math.
Neither am I.
I'm not worried about how much assets I have under management in my account because this is just my demo. So look, there's a couple ways to get into Quik. The fastest, easiest way is go to your integrations, put Quik here as one of your defaults, which is what we've done, so it's easy to find. And when I do this, it gives me the option. I have to click on it. Okay, wait for it. I know, let's refresh the screen.
I know, sometimes in Redtail, it needs its coffee a little bit. I totally understand. I'm sure everybody watching has had that moment where they're like, I clicked it, I promise. And Redtail's like, try one more time.
Yeah, I find that browser windows get stale sometimes.
Yes.
So the simplest thing is a single sign-on to Quik. This is going to launch our window. You're going to see the login prompt. Wait for it. Just be patient for a second. You might notice the pretty trees in the background. We wanted to give you something serene to look at because, should go into forms with a Zen-like attitude, I think. And it launches you in here. Now we can go forward. But there's another way to do it, which may be even better. Let's say you're working with a client. I'm going to pull up my favorite client, Peter Parker. And I'll give you a scenario. Peter called me up. I'm his financial advisor. And he said, hey, you told me if I ever left my employer and switched companies, I should roll over my 401k to an IRA. I did. Let's do it. Okay, great. So I can find Peter right here in my contact list and go back to the integrations and choose Quik. And now I'll have a second option, which is send to Quik Forms. So we did the first one, which just simply signs me on. If I do send to Quik Forms, though, it's going to send Peter's data over. And again, let's wait for this to finish its job. Enjoy that pretty picture.
I do like that you have the serene before you have to go in and fill out documents.
You know what? Honestly, my product manager and I thought about this. We're like, nobody likes filling out forms. I don't want them thinking Quik sucks. How about we give them something nice to look at? So the simplest way to fill out forms is to choose a bundle of forms, which I pre-built, that represents the transaction I'm going to do. So here's Trustman. This is my fictitious company. These are my forms I'm going to use. By choosing a bundle, it automatically picks the forms and adds them to my shopping cart. So as you can see, I've got my new account, my IRA, my transfer. I could have done it differently. I could have come here and said, oh, let me go find a company. So let's say, I don't know, I mentioned American funds. If I was doing mutual funds, and I could do a search, and we get back all the forms possible for that company. Our goal is to add every form they'll give us into the library, not their most popular, every form. And I promise there are forms in here nobody's ever used, and that's okay. They're here if you need them. You'll see they've got full descriptions. Over here on the right, you can see if they're signable. Not all forms are signable. And if you add a form that's not signable to the basket, you won't be able to sign any of the forms in that basket electronically. You can always print. Don't worry, we'll talk about that. You can also refine your search. Let's say I was doing a college plan, for example. That's going to bring my search results down to just those forms, and we can go pick those. You see the little hearts? I can favorite forms. So if there's forms I use all the time, I can just heart them and easily find them. Also, you noticed when I search, there's a lot of companies here. I mean, we have hundreds of companies. The top ones I use filter to the top, but you can just go through this. What if you just want to see a short list of companies? Well, put the star next to the company name, and it brings back just those firms and makes it easier to find. So a number of ways in which you can find forms. And the key here is you find the forms first. Why? Well, the next step, notice the roles, all these different red pluses. The green one's already clicked because we did send to Quik from Redtail. So Peter's already been put in here. And now I have the opportunity to say, who else in my Redtail do I want to bring over? Well, maybe Mary Jane is going to be the beneficiary of this account. Maybe she's an authorized individual as well. And we keep adding to the different roles that this form represents. You can see my financial profile. I can pick different commission numbers, G numbers, whatever kind of business I'm doing. And we even pull over account numbers from Redtail, which is rare. We don't do this with other CRMs. So this is something we've done for Redtail if I'm saying I need the account number for this transaction, which new accounts don't, but maybe you're doing a change of beneficiary and you do.
Sure. No, that's so convenient, because who wants to memorize account numbers? I don't.
Me. No. Oh.
Shouldn't memorize account numbers either, to be fair.
You know, it's funny. I worked in the 90s. I worked for a stockbroker at Payne Weber, and it was amazing. He knew all of his clients' positions and how much money they had in each position. It was unreal, the kind of memory he had developed. I'm like, how do you do that? He's like, I work with this all day long. It's probably why I can remember my clients' contracts and how many users they signed up for. So who knows? Maybe people are remembering account numbers. I went to the finalize page, the last step here. And you can think of this kind of like your shopping cart where you're ready to place the order, where you can configure things. So I've got my eSign connection. We support DocuSign and Sinex. You can have as many different eSign account setups as you need. So if, let's say, TD Ameritrade gave you one and you have your own private one, you could have 2 DocuSign accounts here. So I'll just choose the first one by default. You can see the forms. If I wanted to reorder them, I could quickly do that and say, okay, this is how I want to see them. You can see the people, and then we can go generate. So now I'm going to launch these forms. And what's happening is we're calling back to Redtail to get all that data. We're calling to Quik to get the forms, and we're merging it all together, and it's going to pop up here in a new window. And one of the nice things about our system is that all the form pages are in one scrollable window. You're not going through tabs. All the data is shared throughout. You can go form by form through here. And check this out. If your information's incomplete, so obviously I could have put middle name into Redtail, but I didn't. I type it into one place, it fills out everywhere else automatically. And it's a two-way street, so if I change it, it'll change it to Ben everywhere else on the form. Here's another thing most people don't see. There's a plus sign next to this. This allows you to pick any person that you've assigned to the form to be pushed into this role if you want to change things on the fly, as well as fill out other roles that you forgot to fill out. So these plus signs can be really helpful too. So what are you left with? We've done all the dumb work for you, all the repetitive name and address. Now you go through and choose what is it we're doing and go through the forms and fill them out. You can see a lot of information flows through and fills out the form quite completely. Now you'll notice at the top there's different buttons here. If you clear this clears your entire form. If you reset it, it resets it back to the pre-filled state and it removes all the changes you had. So I'd have to type Ben in again and check boxes, obviously. If you save this, so let's say you're not ready to finish the work here and your client's not going to get back to you. So I can say this is Peter, Ira, give it today's date. Do I remember today's date? I think I do. And save this. It's like saving a Word document, except we're not saving the document, we're saving the data. And what this means to you is if I come back here to the home page, you'll notice over here on the right, there's a saved forms icon. We saved the data to this form package. And if I go launch this again, I will be able to get the latest versions of the documents. Jack, you started to ask about duplicate forms earlier.
Yes.
What if I realized I needed to do 2 transfer forms or 3 transfer forms because I'm moving multiple accounts? And this is a new feature of Quik, but a very frequently asked problem. Like, hey, I'm going to generate a new account form. I'm going to transfer in 3 accounts together into one, combine them. How do I do that? Well, in the past, you had to generate 3 form packages, the new account and a transfer, and then 2 additional transfers. But now we can launch this with the duplicate form. I could have done that in the basket as well. So now let's look at this. And we've got multiple transfer forms in here. And the nice thing is the first transfer form has the data, but the second one and the third one are blank. And that's because what if we're combining from other accounts? Like maybe this was a trust, for the benefit of the Parker family or something, and we're combining it. Somebody's going to tell me, you can't do that. And I don't know. I'm not a financial advisor anymore. But the point is that you can have totally separate data that doesn't collide with, obviously this is important for account numbers, and you can combine it all into one package.
That's great. So you can keep it separate. So I hate the saying, I'm so sorry. You can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And I have to figure out a better way and more eloquent way of saying that. But that's effectively what we're doing here is we're keeping the data separate, but we can still run the task at the same time.
Exactly.
Rich? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Because I'm still pretty new to the software myself. And I know that this can be kind of scary watching this all kind of happen because we're so used to having the control of just being able to write something on a piece of paper and know that we're, good to go. We can trust it, but it is cumbersome. And this is the way of the future, unfortunately. So if you're sitting in the audience and you're a little intimidated, just know that that's A-okay. Rich, do you have any sort of, I know you mentioned that you have a chat and you have really, attentive I wanted to specifically use attentive. You have a very attentive support staff. Are they here to help maybe someone who isn't as confident understand the software?
Yeah, so right back here, I'm back in our software, the help icon's right down at the bottom. Mm-hmm. And so you can say something like Redtail. Well, a common thing that happens is, how do I connect my Redtail? Or what do I do? Why can't I see my contacts? So if you type in something, we first show you articles to try to help you, and then you can go read these articles. But notice there's live chat here. So if you're not getting where you want to be, you can quickly go through here and start chatting with somebody, and our team will start responding. It's great. We're very good about that. You can see the hours as well. Jack, I'm going to go back to the form really quick because I want to show a couple other things here. One is we can print this to PDF, and this generates the print perfect version of the document. So you can see it filled out with the data I put in exactly as I put it in, all the documents combined, and we can e-sign. So our e-sign is connected to DocuSign and Signex seamlessly out of the box. You'll notice that information right off the form is put right in here, what we call the envelope information. You'll also notice these additional owner 1-1-2. These are the transfer forms copies. And so what we do is we just extend the people out. And if Peter is the same person on all of these, we can just quickly copy paste them into these roles, no problem. And what's important is to put them into the same emails and how you want them to sign each time. And by the way, if you want them to be in-person signing, they're sitting at your desk with you and you want to share one computer, you can do that. Another thing you'll notice is these are some hidden tricks. If I want Peter to sign in all 3 places, I can set the order as 1 for him in all 3 places. And instead of sending him 3 emails from DocuSign, we'll send him 1. He'll be prompted to sign once for the entire package. Same thing with any other people on here. If I were to hit send, everybody's going to get this message through DocuSign. We send all this to DocuSign or Signix. They prepare the message. They send it off. We upload the document in real time. Everywhere that somebody has to sign is pre-built. Nobody has to do anything technical. And it just starts doing the rounds according to the order specified. And if I want everybody to sign at once, I could set everybody's order to 1 as well. That's another option. So signing is pretty easy. Sorry, my mouse is scrolling. Stop, mouse, stop. And what last thing I'll show you is if you want to put identity check, this is the knowledge-based authentication. ID check, there may be a cost to this at DocuSign, I'm not sure, but this is the one that asks you those 5 crazy questions like, did you live at this house in 1983? Or SMS if that's easier, and then you have to put in a phone number, that kind of stuff. Excellent. Jack, I want to stop really quick because I covered a bunch of stuff rather quickly. There's more I want to show, but are there any questions that are popping up in the chat that we should address?
So I actually had one. As a curious human, you mentioned at the very beginning about bundles you can create. And I'm curious, is it like just the preset bundle that comes with Quik, or can you make your own bundles as well?
Actually, no bundles come with Quik for the My Form. These are your private form bundles. You'll notice there's actually 2 here. My Form bundles are my own, and public could be set by a parent company. So let's say I'm with a broker dealer and they have an enterprise agreement with Quik. They will have what we call a parent account, and they can set up public bundles. And then that makes it accessible for all of their users. And then I can go set up my own private bundles. So let's set one up. Let's say I do business with Schwab. So I find some Schwab forms. I don't know, we'll do college plan. So this is the college plan. Maybe I need the authorization and incoming rollover. I need the application. Maybe I should have done it in that order. So here's my basket. Let's say I need the application first. Let's organize this the way I want. Okay, I know I can do this. There it goes. I set this up. I can change quantities, etc. And you'll notice at the bottom it says manage my form bundles. So this is one way to do this, by the way. I can go to the bottom of my cart and I can say, I'm going to create a new bundle. And I can decide is this public? I'm an administrator, so I can do that, or just my own private. So I'll just say these are my Schwab college plan. This will create a brand new bundle. Notice at the bottom in green, it says it was created. So that's great. I could also have chosen an existing bundle and updated it. So if I was finding more forms for American funds and I wanted to throw it in there, I could do that. Alternatively, there's this button right here, add form to bundle. Boom, boom, boom. So I could go just click on it and it can say, you can find this in this plan, or I can now go update a plan or create a new plan. There's a couple ways to work on that. And you can edit these bundles, etc. So there's our new one, got added in. Now you might ask, why does this one say private? Because it exists down here too. We had to rename it to know there's a difference between these two.
Okay.
Yeah, so form bundling, I would offer form bundling is one of our original features from 2004, 2003, and probably one of the most used features. But let me show you kind of a default bundle scenario.
Sure.
Okay, so we can come here to find forms, search or bundles, but what about recent forms? If I'm doing a lot of the same transactions over and over again, like I'm opening up 5 accounts today, guess what? That package I just created is right here. I can click on it. Oops, my whole shopping cart was filled, so let's go back.
Gosh.
I can click on this, it adds it to my cart. I didn't have to do a search. I didn't have to find a bundle. I'm ready to go. And it takes me right to the add people page where I can now, go find people like Peter. Now remind you, I didn't do the send to Quik option back at Redtail. I've been using Quik over and over again, but had I gone back here and found another client and hit send to Quik, it would have brought me over, pre-filled it, etc.
So just on that topic, Rich, would that mean that you technically don't have to single sign on? You don't have to single sign on from Redtail to have the information feed over from Redtail, or do you need to single sign on from there to get the information every time?
No, you do not have to do single sign-on at all. In fact, the first launch of this product with Redtail did not include single sign-on. That's only about the last year that we've had single sign-on. Single sign-on makes it just fast and easy because I think we view this the same way you do, Jack, that the CRM is your hub. If you're a financial office, this is where you spend most of your time, is right here in Redtail. And so why go log into another product if I can just go single sign-on into it or send the user over? But you're 100% right. Once I'm in here, I can search my Redtail account and pull in all the records I want for whoever else is in here. And I don't know who's in here. I didn't set this Redtail account up. I just know a few.
Totally. And do you share forms with everyone in your Redtail database, or can you just see your forms on your Quik sign-in?
So it's based on the account at Quik. Quik can have multiple users on the account.
Perfect.
So if I come here to users, you'll see I've got these different users. Now ignore these really nice looking usernames because these were single sign-on people. This is how we link through to other people from Redtail. So if you're all sharing an account, you can do that. You can also go add users. I don't think I'm logged in as admin right now, so I can't necessarily do everything. But essentially, you can have a direct login to Quik by adding users. You can just do single sign-on. Whatever is easier for you, you can do.
Perfect.
I don't know about you, Jack, but I already manage. We recently rehashed our passwords, and I had 2,000 passwords. I don't know if anybody else wants another password.
No, and that's why I was asking, because I hear it all the time. It's very cumbersome to have to switch across databases or send people information. So the ability to have all the information in one spot, like you said, because that's our goal, is to be the hub, is hopefully how we're going to eradicate carpal tunnel in another way. So if you don't mind me asking, Rich, this is a little off topic, but while we were talking, when you brought up Schwab, it just naturally made me think about it. So I know that you mentioned you do have licenses with other broker dealers. Do you know off the top of your head how many you have, or if there's certain ones that, jump out at you, like LPL, if you're with LPL, or if you have a license agreement with LPL, or like I know you mentioned TD and Schwab is a yes, but how many licenses do you have at the moment, or if you know?
So I don't keep that number at top of my head by any means. I know out of the top 20 broker dealers, 18 of them use Quik in some capacity. There's a lot of customers who have white labeled our product and embedded it. But like a company like Plan Member, for example, I know they leverage Redtail quite a bit, and they use this product in a unique way. There's quite a few. I mean, certainly in the top 50, there's a majority of them use our product. But not everybody's with the top 50 broker dealer. There's plenty of small ones. So I don't know how exactly to answer that. We do work with all the major clearing firms, Pershing and Fidelity Clearing, as well as custodial. So Schwab, TD, Pershing, et cetera. And then we support a vast library of forms, as you might have started to see in here. And you can go through here and say, oh, I want life forms, and you can find all sorts of different life companies. So there's a number of ways in which we work. And if we're not working with your broker dealer, that doesn't mean we can't. They may want to know, do we comply with their security? We have a SOC 2 audit that they can review, and I'm sure we'll get compliance. So we're willing to jump through whatever hoops to help people use the product and be successful with it.
Perfect. So if I wanted to find out if my broker dealer was supported by you, could I just ask your support? You're very attentive.
Yeah, absolutely. And to show you this, if you went to quickformsapp.com, oh wait, I guess I have to log out to do that. If we went here to it took me back. Okay, hold on. Quick form, let's just go here directly. You can sign up, but also down here is our chat. You can start this process.
Beautiful.
Help, and then just say chat and start talking to us, call us, whatever is going to work best. Yeah. Hey, Jack, really quickly, I've shown you what we can do. Can I just quickly show you what we're working on?
I think that's a great idea. We would love a sneak peek if you can give us a little bit of a hint at what's to come for the year, Rich, we'd love that.
Yeah, so here's our roadmap. This is showing you where we've been. We created the ability to submit forms, CSV import. I mean, obviously, if you have Redtail, you don't need that. But let's say you're getting ready to, I don't know, do 25 accounts transitioning from one product to another, and you just want to load data. Or you're onboarding an employee 401k and you've got 300 employees. I mean, you could start using this. Our Quik Vault is just nearing completion to be able to generate forms out of data in the vault, but the vault is a hyper secure storage mechanism for data. Duplicate forms, I showed you that today. This is our newest feature. And right following it is householding. And this is something we get asked about quite a bit. The concept of householding is I have a client with 5 or 10 accounts. They all go to the same address. Why am I sending them 5 or 10 different packages? Can't I just put it all into one package? Can't I e-sign just one package of 3 accounts at a time? And the answer soon will be yes, because that's what householding is going to do. Following that is batch forms, and this goes back to what I was saying about loading data into the vault. What if you do a seminar and you onboard 25 clients and you have 25 new accounts to open? Or what if you're switching broker dealers or firms and you need to onboard all your clients again? Batch forms is going to handle that. And it's going to leverage duplicate forms and householding. And that moves us into the transition world, which a lot of broker dealers are interested in. But frankly, transitions is I think of it as multiple different types of transitions. Moving your firm to another broker dealer or something like that, or going independent and going to an RIA and switching custodians. It could be onboarding a bunch of products. It could be onboarding a big customer who has lots of people in it, like an employer plan. It could serve a lot of different purposes. And then I don't think this audience cares, but we're rebuilding all of our forms management tools, which is only going to make us more effective and faster at building forms. So we have a lot in the works.
No, I would say everyone that is interested in the software should be interested in that, because as long as you all are maintaining, you can continue to grow and be the best software you possibly can, even though you're already pretty great.
Thanks. And I'm an innovator. I'm always thinking ahead. Like I'm asking the question, how can artificial intelligence be useful to our clients? Can we build it into our product? I'm not going to reveal my ideas yet, but we have some pretty cool ideas for how AI is going to affect the forms part of this world.
Oh my gosh. Well, maybe this time next year, Rich, in our upcoming features section, we'll be hearing about some AI that'll be incorporated into Quik.
Yeah, I'd love to talk about that. I think I'm very open to a lot more questions, but just before we get too far out of time, I thought it'd be nice if everybody knew how they could save money when they get Quik. Because with our partners at Redtail, we're giving a discount if you go to this URL, quickforms.com/Redtail. Jack, do you know if there's a link on the Redtail website that links right to this? I think there is.
Yes. So under the help desk article, there should be a link to the Quik website, which should take you to pricing. But as for this special code, this is, I believe, something that's just available today in our webinar for the first time. So that we can post this, absolutely. But everyone watching this, they're the first ones to see this link and get this opportunity.
Yeah, so please take advantage of it. Try the product for free. See if it works for you. What I like to say to people is that my job, and really my team's job, is to help you make a high quality decision. We don't like having unhappy customers, so we want to make sure this is the right product, the right fit, that it serves your needs well, and you're getting the support you need. So are there more questions we should address?
So we did have a couple. One that Allison asked an excellent question. She was wondering what in-person signing looks like.
In-person signing. Now, you may have seen this at a car dealership if you went to a car dealership or got a mortgage recently, where you're sitting at somebody's desk, like the agent, the salesperson, or in our case, like the financial advisor, and you're with the client in person. Well, you don't want to send an email to their account. They don't want to wait for them to go home or go to their office to go open that email. And certainly you don't want them going to your computer to open their email. Yeah. What in-person signing does instead is it starts the DocuSign signing process right there on your computer. And it prompts you and says, oh, it's Jack's turn to sign. So I turn my computer to Jack, she signs. And then it says, hey, it's Rich's turn to sign. She turns the computer back to me, I sign. It's all on one computer. and it's very, very convenient. So yes, that is possible. One note is that if you put in-person signing, it needs to be the first person that you want to do in-person signing. And I think everybody following that should be in person too, I think.
Excellent. So, yeah. Great answer, Rich. Yeah, I just couldn't figure out an organic way to work that in during our during your wonderful.
Yeah, right.
But I thought it was a really great question. Thank you, Allison. And then I know we talked a little bit about this, but we did get another question about multiple users on Quik and kind of what that looks like. So Heidi asked, in a multiple advisor office, does each FA need their own license, or does the branch use one license? So I kind of wanted to defer to your opinion.
It's a really fair question. Our pricing is per user, and every user should have their own login. And I get it, because sometimes you have a user, well, let's just say the financial advisor is not filling out the paperwork, but sometimes they log in and do one form. It's going to be up to you if you share an account with somebody, a user. But keep in mind, data security is really important, and you can turn on multi-factor authentication. If you're doing single sign-on, it doesn't require the MFA code, but if you're doing a direct login, it would. And you also have to think, the sign-in from Redtail to Quik is to the user at Redtail. So that may also cause you to have a need for individual user licenses at Quik. So yeah, that's kind of how we look at it. It's every user should have their own license. From a security standpoint, it's better. It means you control the user better. If they leave your firm, you can turn off their account. You're not worried about shared credentials. And let's be realistic. We live in a hyper secure world right now. We need that kind of security.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And I constantly tell my clients, I think it's only going to get more strict. It's not going to get any more lenient. It's just, we're just going to see more improvements to security and requirements for security.
Right.
Excellent. Well, we don't have any more questions in our QA, so I'm giving a last call for questions. If you have anything, feel free to plug that in for Rich here. But Rich, while we're waiting and giving everyone an opportunity to percolate for a second, well, does Aunt May use Quik, actually? I have a... Alice asked. She wants to know.
I don't know. I haven't put her into any forms yet, so it could be.
She probably should. She did a transfer of benefits like 3 different times, at least in 3 different universes that I know of. But I had
Speaking of aunts, I'll share a story. I was helping a customer a really, really long time ago, and they had a data problem. So I was sharing screens with them. I was helping them look at data, and I saw my uncle's name. And I'm like, and he has a very, very unique name. I'm like, my uncle's advisor is working with Quik to give him forms that are better. I'm like, my family's benefiting from my software. This is amazing. So I felt like we made it. Like we had a personal impact on ourselves by building this product.
Okay, that's a full circle moment. That's very cool. And your family was also helping plant trees, because the firm was using you, then they're helping plant trees, which I love. I'm going to tell every single one of my clients about that.
Nice.
We did get a question in that I do think is great. Michael asked, do you have fixed annuity applications as well?
We have all sorts of things. Is there a specific company? Because we have lots of annuity companies on our system. And tell you what, if that person wants to type in a company to look for, I will go find it and show it. Let me see if I can share my screen. But otherwise, we'll just do a search on annuity companies.
So hopefully one of them is Michael's company. Maybe he won't even respond.
Well, there's lots of annuity companies. I just typed in the word annuity to find those that have the word annuity in it. Like Transamerica, we have a ton of Transamerica forms for the company.
Okay.
And annuities, they're not always listed this way. Like, actually, hold on.
Absolutely.
Like American General Life annuities. Oh, I typed in the word annuity. That's what it is. Plural, I mean, so there's a bunch.
That you spell it right when you search it.
You know, typing, it's a skill.
I am not a good speller. I am not a good, I almost said numberer, which that's not a word. I'm not good at math.
But anyway, I hope this is answering the question. I don't know if we have every form that everybody needs. That's why we're always adding to it. And I don't know which company they're looking for, but I know like John Hancock.
Sure.
Yeah, it just kind of depends.
And if I'm learning correctly today, could Michael make a custom form if he needed to?
We'll build any form a customer gives us. It becomes part of their own private library. So
Okay.
if you gave us a form that we couldn't procure from a national carrier, number one, we'd put it in your private library for you to use. There's no issues with that per se, but then you have to maintain that form with us. If it updates, you have to tell us to update it. Generally, it's better if we go to the annuity company or whoever directly, but that's not always possible.
Excellent. Okay, well, that is excellent. That's great that you have at least alternatives if the form doesn't work out. I do have one final question for you today.
Go for it.
It's a really difficult one, but it's actually one of my favorite things to ask. And it is, what is your favorite part about Quik? What is your favorite aspect about the integration with, it doesn't even have to be the integration with Redtail, but just as the software as a whole, what's your favorite part about it?
So I'm going to answer this a little bit different from tech because I think of tech as a tool. My favorite part of Quik is our company culture and the people behind that culture. When I started this company, I had this idea that I wanted to do my best work. I felt like working for others, I never got to do my best work or fulfill my potential. And I realized there were 4 things that would help me do that. Number one is designing software so easy to use, it doesn't require a user guide because nobody likes learning new things. How do we make it easy? 2, and these are all equal, doesn't matter the order. 2 is providing outstanding service at all levels, not just to our customer, but inside our company to ourselves. We treat each other really, really well so that when we have difficult situations, we know how to get through them with confidence. 3rd is we love what we do. So when you meet people on my team, they're in the role that they love to perform and they love their job. Nobody loves every single detail. Like I hate travel expense reports, but we all love what we're doing. And 4th is we do what we say we're going to do. So I believe in integrity and transparency as a leader, but also as a company. So when our customers need help, if we say we'll call you back at 2:00, we're going to call you back at 2:00, even if it's to tell you we don't have an answer yet, or we need more time, or the answer is no, we can't fix it. Whatever it is, we're not going to leave you hanging though. So we really live up to that. And it's what makes me enjoy running this company for 21 plus years now. And I'm hoping to build this into a company even my boys might be attracted to work at someday far off into the future.
Well, that was a lovely answer, Rich. I'm not going to lie. Most of the time I do get a tech answer. It's something very feature specific. But this is another reason why I was so excited to sit down with you today, because you are very passionate about the business and it shows, and you are passionate, it feels like, about every single person that comes to you and uses your software. So thank you so much for everything today. I do highly encourage you all to try Quik. Like I said, as a person who talks to advisors all day long, I can tell you I've had no complaints about anyone who uses form filling software because they save a ton of time. And I promise you, your fingers will be happier. But thank you all again for joining us today. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Please join us in 2 weeks. We will have Bento on to discuss more tech stack additives for Redtail. But in the meantime, thank you again, Rich, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you. And man, Bento, I love Bento. That'll be a great conversation. So I hope you guys will go to that.
Thank you, Rich. That's so sweet. Maybe we'll see you there. You can pop into the chat.
Thanks, Jack. Thanks for everybody who attended today.
Thanks so much for joining us today for this particular session. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to give us a call at 800-206-5030, option 3 for support, or just shoot us an email over to support@redtailtechnology.com. Thanks a lot and have a great day.